morning. So today is April 10th. My plans for today were to film a lot of Dark Tower videos and some things for VEDA. But I am in a really weird mood. I read 2 books yesterday that ended in suicide, and then tried to perk myself up by watching like a teen trash movie, and the protagonist died. So I went to bed yesterday in like a really weird headspace, and then this morning at work I had to reprice the records, and as I was going through kept discovering the security stickers. People have been peeling the security sticker, like the plastic, off the back of the record and just like tucking it in the pockets and stealing records. And for some reason, like this combination of like suicide and stealing frivolous things, like the ugliness of humanity that you sometimes witness working retail, I'm just in a really weird space mentally. So I have surrounded myself with some of my favorite things. I'm like half ready for dance. I'm wearing a really cute little flippy skirt for dance. But right now I just sort of want to perk myself up and just feel not weird. I just feel really weird, and I think it's just consuming a lot of ugly has negatively impacted me. So what do I have surrounding me? I have the stack of books that I've already started. The English Patient, Daring Greatly. Speak I think I might avoid because it's about sexual assault. I've got White Teeth to finish. I may also avoid Canlit in Ruins, refuse Canlit in Ruins because that's also pretty dark. And then I could work on German for a bit. That might be a nice distraction to pull me out of whatever. I have Ungovernable by Therese O'Neill. Therese O'Neill is hilarious, and so it's looking at Victorian parents' guide to raising flawless children. Maybe this will like perk me up some fun historical facts. I have, of course, my April TBR to choose from, and there are some fun things on here. There's some children's lit on here. I may have to research and see if the dog dies, because if the dog dies, I don't think I can do that today. There's some fun, happy stuff in the TBR pile. And then I have a stack of children's literature for a secret project. Some of this is pretty uplifting. Actually, I can't guarantee that. I have I'll Get There, It Better Be Worth the Trip by John Donovan, which is one of the first middle grade books to contain gay themes. I have Stevie by John Steptoe, which is one of the first children's books to deal with a young black boy's experience in foster care, and it is written in African-American English vernacular. I don't want to say it will be fun because it's about a child in foster care, and obviously that's not good. There's probably some trauma there, but it's a picture book that's doing things. I also have The Boy, His Stories and How They Came to Be by Oliver Jeffers. I don't know, I just don't like being in this weird mental headspace. I am going to try reading for a bit, hope that this perks me up, and then go to edit today's video. It's just a matter of choosing. So many choices. All right, so I read 4 pictures books and painted this hand. While it's drying, let me tell you about what I read. I read The Runaway Bunny by Margaret Wise Brown and Goodnight Moon by Margaret Wise Brown. It has been a very long time since I read either of these. These are my childhood copies. This one's missing the spine. Don't know how that happened. Also the back. These are some of probably the most classic, like baby's first library kind of books. Very simple picture books. They're sort of fun and playful and colorful. Well, there's a lot of bold color in them. And when you think about how children's publishing looks now compared to then, I'm surprised that these are still bestsellers, especially because works like Oliver Jeffers' Boy quadrilogy. These came out as board books, I believe. This is a board book, by the way. It's cardboard. Babies break things, evidently. It's in the same market as much more colorful things, so I'm surprised that these clearly hold some sort of nostalgia with people. Like, I have definitely bought and gifted these things to young people, not young people, babies. I read all 4 books in the boy stories, so that is, oh, this hand is wet and I really don't want to get nail polish on boy. I really like them for the illustrations. I love Oliver Jeffers' illustration styles. I love seeing the watercolor that he works with, and as somebody who's sort of starting to play with watercolors, it's neat to see and be like, oh, like that's how you would do that thing. I've learned how to do that thing. And part of me is like semi-tempted to pick a fairly simple picture and try and recreate it, like some place where you can see the techniques just as like a practice thing, because I really like the aesthetics of Jeffers' watercolor works. Did really enjoy this. They're child appropriate, but they're also fun for adults to read, which I think is the mark of good picture books, good children's literature, is that you can pick it up at any point and still enjoy it. What I am currently delving into is Ungovernable by Therese O'Neill. All right, so I will check in with you guys later. Alrighty, so it is 4:30 now. I read SEO Tro by Roald Dahl. This is about a man who tricks a woman into marrying him by giving her a magic spell to make her tortoise grow larger. And then every day while she's out at work, he steals the turtle that she has and replaces it with a slightly larger one. It's perfectly bonkers and it brought me a lot of joy and I had fun with this. I am 40 pages into Ungovernable by Therese O'Neill. So I have read the part about how 19th century women were recommended to get pregnant, and I'm about to start the chapter on how much violence and lager should my fetus be exposed to as a means to ensure sturdy character, and other pregnancy tips. I also picked up I'll Get There, It Better Be Worth the Trip by John Donovan. This is a piece of middle grade that apparently has queer themes. I'm a little bit worried, I'm not gonna lie, that I'm gonna feel queer baited at the end of this because this was published in 1969, and I'm wondering how gay it is, or if it's gonna be something like Disney's LeFou at the end, where you're like, see that? He danced with a man! So gay! Is it gay for the time, or is it gay as in like it's gay, like definitely gay? So far it's about a boy who is 13 but reads to me like in the way he thinks as much younger. I thought he was 8. However, his internal monologue feels much more adult. So like the character reads a little bit weird, which I'm wondering if that's why this book hasn't stood this test of time. Like, is it the queer aspect? Is it, like, I have never encountered this in a gender studies course, in a children's lit course. You think that if it was a first in that way, it would show up in places in scholarship, and I haven't encountered it. It took me a really roundabout way to discover this sort of foundational piece of English language queer fiction. The reason I stopped reading it is because Davy lives with his grandmother because his mother is an alcoholic and an unfit parent. And his grandmother has passed away at the beginning of this book. His mother's like, well, obviously he should come live with me, as she knocks back like her 3rd drink of hard liquor with all of his aunts and uncles. And his aunts and uncles seem to be in the place where they don't want to take on Davy, but they also don't feel like they're in a position to say no because his mother is his mother. And so they're looking at her and like she's clearly behaving in a really unfit way. Like, she's not caring for her child who has just lost his primary caregiver. She is getting drunk and silly, coming off of 2 books about like suicide, and the second book that I read had abuse, sexual abuse, in addition to suicide and like the abusive mother right off the bat, not exactly the happy fun book that I'm looking for. So I'm putting that down for now, and I'm actually listening to White Teeth on audio right now as I just crochet some granny squares. I don't really feel like reading at the moment. I've spent the whole morning reading and I just feel like being read to have someone tell me a story. So I am in the middle of I'm probably close to the end of White Teeth, actually. The brothers who were separated at the beginning of the book as children have just been reunited, and they are very politically opposite, and it is quite an exciting interaction that is happening. So, sorry, I'm looking down at this thing that I'm crocheting. At some point, I will have to brush my hair and do something with it for dance. I will also have to make dinner. But for now, I figure I'll give myself another hour of listening to my audiobook and crocheting. I think it's a good day. I think it's been important to just sort of acknowledge where I'm at because of the tough topics that I've been reading about. Like, it's hard to take in and bear witness to that much trauma. I think it's especially hard in a book where if it's an effective book, you become attached. I think it was important to take time off today. I'm definitely gonna do the YouTube comments tomorrow. Today, a video is going up. You will hopefully see this video on Thursday. I don't know, what do you do? Like, do you find yourself affected by books like this? I normally don't find it this bad. I think it was just consuming 2 texts in like one really close sitting. Like, I basically had to go from one right into the other. There wasn't really any time to like breathe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm sorry today is kind of a downer video, but hey, that's life. We have to say thank you to my patrons for making videos like this and long form content possible. Thank you, patrons, for supporting me throughout the month of April and throughout my challenge to complete VEDA. I really appreciate the work that you enable me to do. If you're interested in becoming a patron, links to that will be in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.